Sunlight streams through Tarara's bay windows, catching the silver and pink balloons bobbing against the ceiling. My sister has transformed her living room into everything a baby shower should be. Delicate finger sandwiches arranged on grandmother's china poses, scattered across cream tablecloths, and tiny silver safety pins tied to ribbons that dance in the April breeze. I adjust my blue maternity dress, smoothing the fabric over my rounded belly. 8 months pregnant, and I still can't quite believe this is real. Greg stands near the fireplace, deep in conversation with my father, Rick, but his eyes find mine every few minutes. That steady gaze that first drew me to him, the one that promises I'm not alone anymore. Another gift for my grandbaby. Darla's voice rings out with unusual brightness as she sachets toward the gift table. My mother hasn't called herself grandmother once since I announced my pregnancy. It's always been your baby, or the baby, never claiming that connection. But now she's practically glowing, arranging the silver-wrapped package with theatrical precision. The doorbell chimes. I'll get it. Darla volunteers already halfway to the door. Her heels click against the hardwood floors with purpose. Something in her eager tone sends a warning shiver down my spine. The door squeaks open. Silence drops like a heavy curtain over the room. Standing in the doorway beside my mother is Ian, my ex-boyfriend Ian. The same Ian I haven't seen in 4 years. He looks exactly as I remember. Tall, dark-haired, awkward in dress clothes. But what crashes through me isn't attraction or even nostalgia. It's horror. Look who I ran into. Darla's voice drips with honey. Ian, you remember everyone, don't you? And this is Greg Megan's current husband. The room collectively holds its breath. Greg steps forward, confusion edged across his features. Tara's hand finds mine squeezing tight. Actually, Ian says, his discomfort evident in his rigid posture. Mrs. Wilson contacted me on Facebook. She's been messaging me for months. The words hit like physical blows. Months. My own mother has been messaging my ex for months. I thought it would be nice to have everyone important here, Darla says. But her smile has a predatory edge. After all, Ian should have been the father. Memory slams into me, 6 years old, watching Darla coo over newborn Tara while I stood forgotten in the doorway. 14. Crying over my first heartbreak. Darla's dismissive. Go cry to your father, cutting deeper than the breakup itself. 24. Bringing Ian home for the first time, watching my mother flutter her eyelashes and touch his arm, hearing her stage whisper, "He's way too handsome for you, sweetheart." Greg moves to stand beside me, his hand warm against my lower back. The baby kicks as if sensing my distress. I brought proof, Ian says, quietly pulling an envelope from his jacket. I'm sorry, Megan. I should have told you sooner, but I honestly thought she'd stop. He sets a stack of printed Facebook messages on the gift table. She's been trying to convince me you're trapped in your marriage, that you still love me, that I need to rescue you. Darla's face drains of color. I was only trying to help. I want no part of this. Ian cuts her off. His voice is firm but kind. Your mom needs help, Megan. He places a small gift bag beside the messages. This is for the baby. I hope she has your strength. He leaves before anyone can respond. The door clicks shut with quiet finality. The room remains frozen. Women I've known since childhood stare at their plates. My father has moved to stand near Tara, his face thunderous. Tom, my stepfather, won't meet anyone's eyes. I press one hand against my belly, feeling my daughter's movements. Strong like her kicks during ultrasounds. Strong like I'll need to be. You won't be part of my child's life. My voice comes out steady, surprising even me. This ends with me. Megan, you're being dramatic. I only want what's best. No. The word rings with decades of suppressed truth. You want what's best for you. You always have. Darla's mouth opens and closes, but for once she has no words to twist the situation to her advantage. No way to make herself the victim, not with the evidence of her betrayal sitting in black and white on the gift table. The baby kicks again, harder this time. I look around the room at Greg's solid presence, at Tara's fierce protectiveness, at my father's quiet strength. I see what my mother never could. Love doesn't require manipulation. Family isn't a weapon. The next generation begins with me. 3 days after the incident, the morning sunlight spills across our kitchen table where Greg hunches over his laptop, scrolling through years of Facebook messages between my mother and various family members. His jaw tightens with each new revelation. Megan, his voice catches. She told our wedding photographer to focus on Tara because she was the prettier sister. I press my hands against the counter, studying myself. The baby kicks a reminder that I'm not alone anymore. What else? Greg's eyes scan the screen. Messages to my mom claiming I'm not good enough for you. Conversations with your aunts about how I'm controlling because I suggested we wait to have kids until we were ready. The doorbell rings through the window. I spot Tara's red SUV in our driveway. She clutches a cardboard box against her chest, her face pinched with worry. I found these in Mom's storage unit while helping Tom pack his things, Tara says, setting the box on our table. He's staying at the Holiday Inn until he figures out his next move. I lift the lid. The musty scent of old paper rises up. On top lies a photograph I've never seen before. Darla at 19, holding a baby wrapped in a yellow blanket. Me. Her expression isn't one of new mother's joy. Her eyes stare past the camera, cold and distant, like she's already planning her escape. There's more. Tara pulls out a leather-bound book, its spine cracked with age. Grandmother Judith Diary. My fingers trace the faded gold letters. I've only met my grandmother a handful of times. She lives in Corpus Christi, sends birthday cards 2 weeks late. Never visits. The diary falls open to a dog-eared page. Judith's spiky handwriting fills the margins. Darla brought the baby by again today. Expects me to watch her while she goes shopping. Just like her father, always taking, never giving. I didn't raise her to be so selfish. Greg reads over my shoulder. Sound familiar? Wait. I flip through more pages. Look at this. A college application form. Darla's neat handwriting filling out her dreams of becoming a nurse. Red ink slashes through her essays. Judith's handwriting again. Unrealistic. Who would watch the baby think practically for once? My throat tightens. 3 generations of women, each one carrying the weight of a mother's disapproval. The phone rings, startling us. Tom's name flashes on the screen. I should have seen it sooner, he says when I answer. The way she'd undermine you, twist everything to make herself the victim. I enabled it by staying quiet. You're speaking up now, I say, because it's time someone did. His voice strengthens. I've known your mother 15 years, Megan. She doesn't know how to love without control. The doorbell rings again. This time it's my father, Rick, holding a manila envelope stuffed with papers. Every child support check I ever sent, he says, spreading canceled checks across our table. She told you I never paid, didn't she? I nod, remembering all the times Darla complained about raising the alone, financially abandoned. Look at the dates. Rick points to deposit stamps. She cashed them the same day they arrived. Then she'd tell me you didn't want to see me, that you were too busy with your real family, Tom and Tara. My childhood diary surfaces from the box, its pink cover faded to salmon. Inside, a 12-year-old's looping handwriting begs, Dear Diary. I got all A's again, but Mom didn't even look at my report card. Maybe if I join cheerleading like she wants, she'll notice me more. Greg's hand finds mine under the table. Our daughter will know a different kind of love. The words unlock something in my chest. She never hated me, I whisper. She hated herself. Tara pulls out more photos. Darla as a teenager, shoulders hunched under Judith's critical stare. Judith is a young mother, her own mother's pinched expression echoing down through time. 3 generations of women who learned that love meant criticism, that motherhood meant sacrifice and resentment. I stand, one hand supporting my lower back, the other protectively curved around my belly. I need to write something. Later that day, my desk words flow onto paper. Dear Mom, I understand now that you couldn't give what you never received, but understanding doesn't equal acceptance. Until you seek professional help and demonstrate real change, you cannot be part of our lives. The letter continues. Laying out clear boundaries, therapy requirements, supervised visits. Only absolute respect for our parenting choices. My hand shakes, but my writing stays steady. Greg changes our locks while I finish the letter. The scrape of metal against metal sounds like protection, like a line drawn in sand. When I finally seal the envelope, Tara hugs me. "You're the strongest person I know," she whispers. But strength isn't what I feel. Relief floods through me pure and clean as spring water. For the first time, I'm not trying to earn love that should have been freely given. I'm choosing to give it instead to my child, to myself, to the scared 19-year-old girl in that photograph who never learned how. The baby kicks again as I drop the letter into our newly installed mailbox. 3 generations of mothers and daughters locked in the same bitter dance. But as I seal that envelope, I'm not just addressing a letter, I'm addressing a legacy. What Darla would do next would shake the family to its core and reveal just how far a wounded mother would go to maintain control. After her numerous calls, we finally agreed to meet the following day at the restaurant nearby our house. The restaurant glows with evening light casting shadows across Darla's perfect makeup as she dabs her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. "I only wanted to protect you, sweetheart. A mother knows these things." My fingers clench around my water glass. Here we sit at Morton's Steakhouse, watching my mother perform her latest masterpiece. Tom shifts in his seat beside her, his wedding ring clicking against his fork as he pushes salmon around his plate. The things Ian said, Darla's voice wavers. He twisted everything. Those messages were about keeping you safe. Greg is so controlling. The way he handled the shower proved that. Tara catches my eye across the table, her expression sharp with disbelief. The same look she wore when we were kids. And Darla claims she forgot my orchestra recital because I never mentioned it despite the invitation still hanging on the refrigerator. I think Tom starts then stops as Darla's hand squeezes his forearm. The hormones make pregnancy so difficult. Darla continues, her voice honey sweet. "You're not thinking clearly, sweetheart. Remember when you were little, how safe you felt when mommy held you? The memory rises unbidden myself at 4, crying in my bedroom after a nightmare. Darla's voice floating up from downstairs. Just go back to sleep, Megan. Mommy's watching her show. I stand my chair scraping against hardwood. Thank you for dinner. We should go. But I haven't given you my gift." Darla pulls out a silver-wrapped package for the baby. "No, thank you." My voice stays steady. You see Darla's eyes fill with fresh tears. This is exactly what I warned everyone about. The mood swings, the paranoia. "Don't." The word cuts through her performance. The drive home brings no peace. Text messages flood my phone from church friends. "Your mother is so worried about you. Family is everything. You'll understand when you're a mother." I pull over to read them all and turn off the phone. Later at home, me and my husband talk about everything, but Greg's coworkers start calling him suddenly with concerns. Darla mentions some things. They leave voice heavy with implied judgment. In the next couple of days, the local grocery store offers no refuge. Mrs. Peterson from my old Sunday school corners me and Produce. Darla told us everything dear. You can't let pregnancy hormones destroy your relationship with your mother. She only wants what's best. I flee to the dairy section, seeking space to breathe. Instead, I find Grandmother Judith studying yogurt labels with trembling hands. "Megan." Her voice sounds smaller than I remember. "I saw your mother yesterday." "Grandmother, No, let me finish." Judith's fingers work at her pearl necklace. "What your mother did to you at that shower, she learned it from me. And I learned it from my mother." She pulls out her phone, shows me a photo from her mother's funeral. 3 generations of women, none touching, none meeting each other's eyes. "I never learned how to love her," Judith whispers. And now it's too late. The truth of it settles in my chest like stones. I'm looking at my future unless I choose differently. That night, Greg discovers a friend request from Sarah Johnson, a profile filled with photos of gardens and quilting projects, the same photos I've seen on Pinterest. Looking closer, we find comments on my post dating back months, all from this mysterious quilting enthusiast who sounds exactly like my mother. There's more, Greg says, opening our mailbox. Parenting magazines spill out passages highlighted in yellow. A mother's love is irreplaceable. Children need their grandmothers. Missing a mother's guidance leads to attachment issues. My phone buzzes with a hospital notification. Darla has already registered as a visitor for my delivery room. That night I sit in the nursery rocking chair, protective hands curved around my belly. The weight of generations presses down, but something else rises, something stronger. The next morning, I walk into my first therapy session. Dr. Martinez's office smells of lavender and leather, her walls lined with family photos showing genuine smiles. "Tell me about your mother," she says. I do. Every manipulation, every dismissed achievement, every moment of watching her love my sister while treating me like an inconvenience. The words pour out like rain after drought. "And what kind of mother do you want to be?" Dr. Martinez asks. "The supportive one, better than my mother." After the session was over, I went home. At my office room, I pull out my journal open to fresh pages. Start writing a letter to my unborn daughter. "My dearest Emma, you will never have to earn my love. You will never watch me love another child more. You will never hear me twist truth into weapons or use your heart against you. You are already enough." The words grew tears, but I keep writing. The next couple of days bring new tasks. Greg installs security cameras while I work on my birth plan. "No visitors without explicit permission" stamped across the top in red. Tara and Tom create careful information barriers, screening calls and messages. Rick hires a family attorney who sends certified letters establishing legal boundaries. Every unwanted contact from Darla goes into a dedicated folder building evidence of her escalating behavior. In the nursery, Greg assembles a rocking chair while I fold tiny clothes. Each piece feels like a premise stove differently, to see clearly, to protect fiercely. She was parked outside again last night. Greg mentions tightening a bolt. I nod, touching my belly where our daughter kicks. I know. "Are you scared?" The question hangs between us. Am I scared of Darla's next move, of becoming like her, of failing my child the way my mother failed me? No, I answer, surprising myself with the truth of it. I'm ready. The nursery window frames a perfect view of the security camera Greg installed yesterday. Its steady red light blinks like a star keeping watch. Inside this room, we're building something new, something safe, something true. Our daughter deserves nothing less. Yellow ducks dance across freshly painted walls, casting playful shadows in the afternoon light. The next day, I run my fingers across the handmade quilt draped over the crib. Relinga gift from Rick's mother. Each stitch a promise of the unconditional love I never knew. The nursery sparkles with peace, every detail chosen to create the safe haven I craved as a child. Greg appears in the doorway, his laptop balanced in one hand. Hospital bag checklist is printed and triple-checked. He taps the paper against his palm. "Though knowing you probably packed 3 weeks ago." 2. I smile, touching my rounded belly. 1 week until my due date. The calendar on our refrigerator counts down the days, each X marking another 24 hours closer to meeting her daughter. My eyes drift to Ian's gift, still wrapped in silver paper perched among the other shower presents. That small package carried such weight, such truth. Now it sits as a reminder that sometimes the strongest love comes from unexpected places. The doorbell chimes. Greg's expression shifts, but I squeeze his arm. It's just the mailman. I'm expecting those organic swaddle blankets. Instead, a certified letter waits in our mailbox. The return address makes my stomach clench. Wilson and Associates Family Law. Grandparents' rights. The words blur on the legal letterhead as Greg reads over my shoulder. She's claiming emotional distress and family alienation. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. Tom's name flashes on the screen. "Megan." His voice cracks. "I left her last night. I couldn't. The drinking, the pills, the obsession with controlling your pregnancy. She needs help, but she won't listen." I sink into our kitchen chair, one hand pressed against my belly. Emma kicks strong and steady. She showed up at Rick's house this morning. Tom continues screaming about being erased from the family. He had to threaten to call the police. The calendar mocks me from the refrigerator. 7 days. Just 7 days to fortify our walls against this storm. Greg kneels beside my chair, his hand covering mine. We'll call the hospital today. Update security protocols. I nod, pulling up my email. The words flow with surprising calm. Dear family, I want to address the recent messages many of you have received from my mother. While I understand her pain, my priority must be protecting my child from the same patterns that shaped my childhood. This isn't about punishment. It's about breaking a cycle. The responses trickle in throughout the day, and Susan's gentle support. Cousin Michael's shocked realization about similar patterns in his own marriage. Even Tom's sister Rachel, who witnessed decades of Darla's manipulation, offers to be a character witness if needed. Our family attorney sends the cease and desist letter at 4:00 p.m. By 6 p.m., another package arrives, me old baby blanket favorite stuffed animal, and a note written in Darla's flowing script. Since you're determined to forget where you came from, these belong to the daughter who used to love me. Greg makes spaghetti for dinner, my favorite comfort food. The sauce simmers with fresh basil while he updates the hospital's visitor restrictions. Rick texts his rotating schedule for monitoring Darla's movement. She'll take mornings, Tom evenings. Tara filling gaps between. The first contraction hits as I'm twirling pasta around my fork. Oh, the word escapes soft and surprised. Greg's head snaps up, fork frozen halfway to his mouth. That was definitely not Braxton Hicks. I press my hands against the table edge, breathing through the tightening grip around my middle. Greg's hand finds mine. Time to meet our girl. I nod, and the next thing I know is we are in the car on our way to the hospital. The drive to the hospital paints Austin in surreal color. Traffic lights bleeding across wet pavement, stars sharp against the Texas sky. Greg holds my hand between contractions, humming old Beatles songs that make me smile despite the growing pressure. Tara meets us at the entrance, overnight bag slung across her shoulders. Her eyes shine with tears and fierce pride. Security's been briefed, she says, leading us through automatic doors. They have Mom's photo at every entrance. We make it halfway across the parking lot when a familiar voice shatters our careful plans. That's my grandbaby. Darla stumbles from behind a parked car, mascara smeared beneath wild eyes. You can't keep her from me. I have rights. Security converges within seconds. Through the glass doors, I watch my mother collapse into theatrical sobs, clutching at the guards' uniforms. Her voice carries across the pavement. My baby is stealing my grandbaby. Another contraction grips me. I lean into Greg's solid warmth, focusing on his heartbeat against my cheek. Mrs. Wilson. Tom's steady voice cuts through Darla's hysteria. He must have been waiting, knowing she'd try something like this. You need to leave now. I took my pills, Darla wails. I just wanted to see her. And you've been drinking. Tom's words carry equal parts compassion and steel. Let's go home before you make this worse. I don't watch them leave. Instead, I straighten my spine and walk through those hospital doors on my own power. The security guard nods as we pass position to stay through his entire shift. In the delivery room, monitors beep their steady rhythm. Greg wipes my forehead with a cool cloth. Dr. Martinez asks gentle questions about the commotion outside. But my world has narrowed to this. Breath, push, release. Each contraction builds like a wave. I ride them with growing certainty, finding strength in the very crisis meant to break me. Outside, the old story crumbles. In here, we write a new one with every heartbeat. My daughter will never know the weight of earning a mother's love. She'll never scan a room for emotional tripwires or swallow her joy to avoid becoming a target. She'll grow in the light of unconditional love, not the shadow of generational wounds. Another contraction swells. I grip Greg's hand and push toward tomorrow. Emma slides into the world at 3:47 a.m., her first cry piercing the quiet of the delivery room. 8 hours of labor fade into nothing as the nurse places her on my chest. This tiny person who just moments ago lived beneath my heart. She's perfect, Greg whispers, his fingers trembling as he counts each miniature toe. His eyes shine with tears when he reaches 10, just like her mother. I trace Emma's features, the bow of her lips, the slope of her nose, the dark swirl of hair at her crown. She settles against me with a quiet grunt, already knowing my heartbeat, already trusting me to keep her safe. Later that early morning, a gentle knock breaks our bubble. Tara peeks in her smile, bright enough to rival the morning sun streaming through the window. "Can I meet my niece?" She crosses the room with careful steps, lowering herself to perch on the edge of my bed. Her hand hovers over Emma's head before settling into a gentle caress. "Look what you did, big sister. Want to hold her?" The words come naturally without the anxiety I'd feared would taint these first hours. Tara cradles Emma like she's made of spun glass, humming an old lullaby her father used to sing. Through the partially open door, I glimpse Dad in the hallway. He stands with a bouquet of yellow roses. Me favorite, not Darla's signature. Lily waits for an invitation to enter. Respecting boundaries, moments of joy. The peace shatters at noon, security called. Greg says phone pressed to his ear. "Your mother's downstairs demanding to see her granddaughter." My arms tighten around Emma. What did they tell her? That she's not on the approved visitor list? He sits beside me, one hand protective on my shoulder. But she's making a scene. Tom's on his way with the police. She brought Lily's. Tara scrolls through her phone, showing me the hospital security feed, because heaven forbid she remember you're allergic. Emma stirs against my chest, and something crystallizes inside me. "I need to see her." Me, no. Greg's voice stays gentle, even as worry creases his forehead. "You just gave birth." I know. I kiss Emma's forehead, breathe in her newborn scent. That's why it has to be now, before she finds another way in, before she turns this into her show. He studies my face for a long moment before nodding. "I'll be right outside." Darla sweeps in 10 minutes later, her designer purse swinging like a weapon. Her hands reach for Emma before the door fully closes. "There's my precious grand. Stop." The word doesn't waver. Neither do my arms as I shift Emma away from her grasp. Darla freezes, mouth open. For once, she has no script ready. "I've spent my entire life trying to earn your love." The truth flows easier than I expected. Like my body purging the last of the afterbirth, making myself smaller, quieter, more perfect, less needy. It was never enough, was it? "I don't know what you're talking about." Her voice rises, practiced outrage wearing with genuine confusion. "I've only ever wanted what's best for you." I reach into the bedside drawer, remove the stack of photographs Tara brought yesterday. "Look at these." Really look. 3 generations of mothers and daughters stare up from the glossy paper. Grandmother Judith's cold eyes watching young Darla. Darla's tight smile as she holds newborn me. My own face, age 6, watching Darla coo-poo over baby Tara. The same empty eyes. My finger traces the pattern. The same resentment. The same daughter is trying to earn what should have been freely given. You think you know everything now that you're a mother. Darla's mask slips, revealing something raw beneath. "You think you'll do better?" "You're just like me." The words that once would have gutted me glance off like rain. That's what I feared most. But now I know I'm nothing like you. I pull an envelope from beneath the photos. "These are my conditions for any future contact with Emma. Non-negotiable therapy. Supervised visits only. Absolute respect for my boundaries as her mother." "You can't do this." Her voice cracks. "She's my granddaughter." "She's my daughter." The distinction rings clear as a bell. "And she will never spend a single second wondering if she's worthy of love." Darla's face contorts. The mask shatters completely, leaving naked desperation. "I'll take you to court. I have rights. You have exactly what I choose to give you." I press the call button, which right now is nothing. Security arrives within moments. Darla alternates between threats and pleading as they escort her out, her voice echoing down the hallway until the elevator doors close. Only then do the tears come. Not for the mother I have, but for the one I never did. Greg slips back in, gathering me and Emma close. Through the window, I watch the sun paint shadows across the parking lot where Darla's car finally pulls away. Our house welcomes us with the software of the security system Greg installed last week. 3 days later, we finally came home. The nursery glows golden in the late afternoon light. Yellow walls warm to amber. Emma's tiny breaths punctuate the quiet as I lay her in the crib, the same crib. Dad refinished stripping away decades of old paint to reveal the solid wood beneath. Tara and Tom arrive with dinner, creating a buffer of normality, with their quiet conversation and gentle laughter. Dad stops by with more yellow roses, showing me without words healthy grandparenting looks like. That night I stand in the nursery doorway watching Emma sleep. The monitor glows soft green on the dresser. The security panel blinks steady red by the window. Everything in its place. Everyone in their proper rule. A car door slams somewhere down the street. My hands don't shake as I check the locks, and that itself feels like victory. 6 months later, Emma's laugh bubbles through our living room, bright and fearless. My daughter sits up on her playmat, chubby fingers reaching for the mobile hanging above her. 6 months old, and she already knows exactly what she wants. Greg's Best Dad coffee mug sits half empty on the side table next to a scatter of building blocks and the therapy journal I've been filling with observations and revelations. The morning sun catches the silver frame of our new family portrait. Greg and me with Emma between us, Rick and Tara and Tom, gathered close. No empty spaces, no shadows of what might have been. And patty cake. Patty cake! Rick's voice carries from the kitchen. I pausing laundry to watch through the doorway. My father sits cross-legged on the floor, his silver hair caught in the window light as he claps with Emma. His hands are gentle, patient. Nothing like the memories that used to haunt me. A little girl clapping alone in her bedroom, practicing for a mother who never had time to play. The support group materials spread across our coffee table catch my eye. Notes from last night's meeting when Sarah finally told her story, voice trembling. I recognize that trod, same one that shook through me 6 months ago in that hospital room. Now I lead these meetings twice a month. If I can help one person understand they're not alone. I told Greg when I first volunteered. He kissed my forehead, whispering, "You already have the box labeled for Emma later peeks from the top shelf of our bookcase." Inside the few photos of Darla, I couldn't bring myself to throw away. The birthday card she actually remembered to send. The small silver locket she gave me when I turned 16. The only gift that felt like it was chosen for me, not for the daughter she wished I'd been. Emma will have questions someday. She deserves honest answers delivered with the gentleness I never received. A key turns in the front door. Hello, favorite people. Tara waddles in one hand, cradling her growing belly. At 5 months pregnant, my sister glows with a confidence I never managed during my own pregnancy. She plops onto the couch beside me, immediately kicking off her shoes. Tell me everything the doctor said, I say, reaching for her hand. And don't leave out a single detail about the ultrasound. It's a girl. Tara smiled, trembles. I'm terrified of messing this up. Me, how do you do it? How do you know you're not becoming her? The words don't sting anymore. Every time Emma cries, I pick her up. Every time she reaches for me, I reach back. Every time she needs me, I'm there. That's how I know. A small package sits unopened on our entry table. Florida postmark stark against brown paper. Third one this month. They'll go back Monday like all the others. Return to sender stamped in red. Tom mentioned last week that Darla's living with cousin Janet, now teaching piano to properly behave children who appreciate their mothers. The word should hurt. Instead, they settle like dust, stirring nothing. Want to hear something funny? Tara asks, watching Emma demolish the block tower Rick built. I caught myself humming Dad's lullaby yesterday. The one who used to sing us about the moon and the boat and the silver sea. My throat tightens. I remember those nights. Rick's voice carrying me away from Darla's sharp words, her sharper silences. Now I sing it to Emma every evening, her nursery peaceful in the gathering shadows. Last night I whispered against her downy head, "You will never have to earn my love, sweet girl. It's yours. No conditions, no tests, no price." The photos on her mantle catch the afternoon light. Emma's newborn hospital picture beside my own baby photo. Same chin, same bright eyes, but her future stretches before her unbound by the chains I spent 31 years breaking. My journal lies open on the side table. Last night's entry still fresh. I understand her now. The scared teenage mother, the daughter who never learned to love herself. But understanding doesn't require accepting. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Sometimes love means walking away so your child never learns to walk on eggshells. Emma squeals as Rick swoops her high, his laugh mingling with hers. Tara's hand finds mine again, squeezing tight. Greg's keys jinx in the door. Right on schedule. This is what family means. Not blood, not obligation, but choice. Every day we choose love. Every day we choose each other. Every day we choose better. The sunlight streams through our front windows, catching the crystal suncatcher Emma loves to watch. It throws rainbows across the walls, across our faces, across the future we're building. One boundary, one memory, one healing moment at a time.